When I left my ex-husband, I was broken. I felt betrayed. I felt used. I was like, why? Why would this man leave me after everything I gave to him? I was damaged. I was a woman that wanted revenge. When I left my ex-husband, I started living my life for him. I wanted to prove to my ex-husband that I can be loved by another man. I started jumping into different relationships just to seek for validation so that they can love me. So that my ex will see that just because he left me does not mean another man can love me. I remember, I was looking for a man who was far higher than my ex. I wanted a man who had a strong stature in the society so that my ex would understand that I did not go for his level. I went for a higher level. That was the beginning of my doom. I started my relationship journey. I started looking for a rich man, a wealthy man that could beat my ex, a more handsome man, because my ex-husband was very handsome, very cute. If you see my first son, that's my ex. I was looking for a man to beat him physically, potentially, everything. And I kept falling into the wrong hands. I got a lot of politicians that said that they loved me. But each time I get into the relationship, they use me. They were taking advantage of my vulnerability. Because every time I get into the relationship, I tell them how my ex abused me. Guess what? They will repeat the same abuse. They never gave me anything good. They saw that I was a desperate woman who was seeking for validation in a man. So they treated me even worse than my ex treated me. I started regretting. At some point, I was now saying, why don't I go back to my ex? Because a lot of men even treated me worse than my ex. Yes, I went back to go and beg my ex-husband. That's the story many of you don't know. I went back to beg my ex. Because when I got out there, I saw that all these men, they are all the same. Oh. My ex was even better than most of them. I said, whoa. I rushed back to go and beg my ex. My ex said he cannot marry me again. He's not doing it again. I said, whoa, I don't die. I was damaged. I was seeking for validation. I needed somebody to love me, to prove a point. I needed people to understand that I'm not mad. I'm not stupid. Can someone just help me and love me? I rushed to different men and they kept damaging me. Guess what? I kept repeating the same thing I did with my ex. I was a damaged woman. So I met this guy that genuinely loved me in one of the relationships I was running, but I couldn't be loved. I kept comparing him to my ex. If he tried to correct me, I would say that is how my ex used to talk. I was bleeding on this guy who was loving me. I didn't even understand the meaning of love. So if you are giving me love, I don't even see it as love. At that point, I was seeing a man who gives me love as a weak man. Because I had met a lot of toxic men in my life, I now began to think that if you don't beat me, you are not a man. There was a time I was in a relationship with somebody for 3 months and he did not beat me. And I told him, you are not a man. I told him, touch me. You are a coward. If you cannot hit a woman, you're not a man. I told a man that did not beat me for 3 months. Because I have the toxicity, the damage have made me feel that the only way you can be a man is when you hit a woman. I pushed this guy to the wall. At some point, there was a day I took a knife and told the guy, I will kill you. The guy said, there is nothing you will do that will make me touch you. He said, I told him, you are a coward. You are a coward. He said, Blessing, you need to hear. I saw every man who came into my life like a fight. It was a battle for me. I fought men, even those that loved me. The day the guy wanted to leave me, I begged, I cried. He said, Blessing, I'm not leaving you because I don't love you. I'm leaving you because you need to heal. You are damaged. And if you don't heal, you are going to break everything that you love, including your children. There are some women that are damaged. And they damage their children because they've not healed. There are some men that are damaged. And they damage their children because they've not healed. You will see a man treating his child the way his ex is treating him. Some of us have damaged the things we love because we've not healed. This is not clouds. This is real. This is my story. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. We have lost a lot of good things in our life because we refuse to heal. Even our children. You see yourself treating your child. My first son is the carbon copy of my ex-husband. If I did not heal, I probably would have killed my son by now because he's the replica of his father. For every time, I always tell myself, Tonto, your son is the replica of his father. So you must heal, you must forgive him if you want to love your son. I had to forgive my ex to be able to love my son. I couldn't love my son without forgiving him because he was his father. My first son walks like his father. My first son sits like his father. My first son, sometimes when my first son is looking at me, I'll say, Jesus, you are a carbon copy of your dad. I see my ex-husband every day in my house. I feed my ex-husband. My ex-husband is my son. He's his replicate. And let's talk about gene. He took some little gene of his father. I cannot change the fact that my son is from Edo State. No matter how much I want to hate Edo men. What about gene? What about those inborn traits that our children are going to take? Are you going to hate your kids? That's the reason why you have to heal. You have to forgive. It's not because they did not hurt you, but because you don't want to keep hurting other people. You don't want to be the monster that you hate. If you don't heal, you will be doing to other people what other people did to you. That is the birth of abuse. A lot of people abuse you because they have been abused. A lot of people are doing to you what they know. Some people are wicked to you because all they got was wickedness. They were not born wicked because they did not heal. So they will be replicating the things that they got. That's what is called being damaged. Most of us are damaged. If you don't heal, you will never get love. The problem is not the man. The problem is not the woman. The problem is the fact that you are damaged. You are broken into pieces. And if you do not gather your pieces, you can never find love. I kept on searching for a man to love me. I didn't find. I told you guys there was a time I told myself, Blessing, maybe because you are going for high class men, why not go for the lower class? Maybe because you are looking for a man that is rich. Okay, Blessing, look for a man that is struggling. Look for a man that is just trying to survive. Build with him. I met a guy. He was doing his PhD outside the country. I told him to come to Nigeria. I was going to help him. I was helping him to look for a job. I called all my contacts when I was working with the police and begged them to give him a job. I finally secured a job for him, but he said the job was going to take about 3 months. So I asked him to come down from the US and come and start getting used to Nigeria before the job finally clicked. When this guy came down from the US, he lived in my house. I gave him my car. I fed him. I made sure that he was comfortable because I felt I was the one who brought him from the US to Nigeria. This guy will be driving my car around Abuja. I'll be entering taxi to work. Even after work, sometimes when I call him and tell him, baby, come and pick me, he'll tell me that he's busy. He's hanging out with his friends with my car. I will jump taxi. I will go home. I will cook for him. I wanted to make him comfortable. I wanted to be sure that I wasn't doing something wrong. Guess what? It was still the same thing. Each time this guy tried to scream at me, I will remember my ex. There was a day we were having an argument and this guy raised his hand and wanted to slap me. Before he wanted to slap me, I gave him 2 slaps. And I told him, you will never hit me the way my ex hits me again. No man would dare. When I gave him the 2 slaps, he said, I'm going to deal with you. He locked up the door and started beating me. I ran into the kitchen, I took a bottle and I told him, I'm going to kill you. I told myself that my ex will be the first and last man to ever touch me in this life. It was when we were fighting, my landlady, because then I was staying in a BQ. There was a boys' quarter in the main house. I was staying, so my landlady heard our fight and came and was hitting the door. That was the reason why I did not kill that guy that day. After then, we broke up. It was after that relationship, I told myself, Blessing, it's time to heal. My ex has moved on with his life. My ex had remarried, self. Just the way Tonto Dike's ex-husband remarried. My ex remarried after 6 months. But guess what? My ex did not change. My ex is still married to his wife for almost 5 years now. And I'm not married. Some people will start saying, Blessing, should be your ex marry another woman and she stay. And you never marry. Now why you no stay? When, after getting custody of my son, after 5 years, when I got custody of my son, the first thing my son told me was, Mommy, I said, yes, do you know that my daddy used to beat my other mommy? I said, eh? He said, yes. There was a day my other mommy was backing my other brother in the back, and my daddy was beating her in the kitchen. My small brother was crying, and my other mommy was crying. When my son told me that story, I went into my room, I knelt down, and I said, God, thank you. I was not the problem. The difference was another woman decided to accept the problem I rejected. Did you hear what I said? I was not the problem. The problem was the fact that another woman accepted the problem I rejected. I left my ex for domestic violence. Another woman married him and she's taking domestic violence. Remember I told you in one of my videos, some people are good with cracking bone, some are good with meat. There are some women that are strong enough to crack bone. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. Just because you want meat, you don't want bone, doesn't mean you're a bad person. No! Just because you want peace and you don't want trouble doesn't mean you're bad. There's some people that like trouble. They know how to fight trouble. There are some of us that don't like trouble. We just want peace. If we see trouble, we run. That's why some men, when a woman starts her madness, they'll pick up their khaki and walk away. They are not cowards. They don't want drama. And some men, instead of running away, they will stay there, they will beat you. That is where domestic violence, some men will walk away, some men will beat you. There are some people that like bone. There are some people that like meat. Because you like meat and somebody is cracking bone, doesn't mean you are bad. Doesn't mean you... No. We want different things. So my ex has been married for years. Does not mean he's not beating his wife. If his wife sees this video now, she'll probably be smiling. She's collecting beating, the beating I collected. But I collected beating for a period of time. I say, Oga, I go die. Make I go use my life. I don't want beating again. My ex has been beating me. The beating did not start in the marriage. He was beating me from 15 years to 21 years of my life when I divorced him. So he did not change. He did not change his pattern. But some women will go there and take it. I'm only trying to say, some of you who have left a toxic man or a toxic woman and you feel that the reason why they left you is because... Some men will leave you because you cannot tolerate their bullshit. When you see them with another woman, they will start looking for a woman who can tolerate their bullshit. Some women will leave you because you cannot tolerate their bullshit. They'll be looking for a man who will tolerate it. So it's dependent. Exactly. Let me go back to my story. After that situation between me and that guy that beats me for the second time, but this time he did not beat me, we fought. Because all through the period my ex-husband was beating me, I never fought him back. Never. The very first time I challenged my ex was when the marriage broke. This was the first time I was so happy that a man beat me and I fought him. And I was ready to stab that guy that day. I fought kill him. And I was ready to go to jail because I didn't want what my ex did to me to repeat again. The difference is now I'm an adult. When my ex was doing all those things he was doing to me, I was a child. But now I've grown. I'm a grown 32-year-old woman. You can't beat me up. We go fight. I not go sit down, you go they beat me. I go carry something, we go fight. You can't beat me at my age and at my level now. My ex was beating me then because I was a small girl. But no man will beat me now. We go fight. Pata, one person go die. If you go kill me, but I go at least give you small blows. I go use my fingernails, scratch your face. So, when I left that relationship, I had to go back to the drawing board. And I told myself, Blessing, I said, yes, it's time to let your ex go. Leave your ex alone. You need to succeed on your own. Then I used to tell myself, if I buy a car, the first place I want to go and drive it is let my ex see that I bought a car. I was living for my ex. I wanted to succeed for my ex. All I wanted to do was prove a point, validation. I was seeking validation from a man that had moved on. I was seeking validation from a man that has gone to live his life. I was living my life for my ex. Until I went back to the drawing board and told myself, Okoro Blessing, you are the problem. I said, ha! I said, you are damaged. You need to heal. Every man is not your ex. You just chose your ex. It is your choice. This thing your ex did to you in marriage that you're angry about, he did it to you in relationship and you still married him. Please come back in 10 minutes. Alright? And you still did it. You still married him. He was beating you before the marriage and you divorced him because of the same reason why you married him. Beating. Nkiru, you are the problem. I said, ha! And I told myself, your choice. Stop living your life for a man. Live your life for yourself. And a man will come and love you for who you are. I used to tell a lot of women this thing. The crazy thing about relationship and marriage of these days is that we want to lose ourselves and let other people find us. When you lose yourself, what will they love? There's something I used to say. When people say, I love you, it is you that they love. See what happens. They will tell you, I love you. Then when you start to date them, you leave you. The attraction is you. So the moment you leave you, they go. You leave you, they leave you. They came for Blessing CEO. The moment I'm no more Blessing CEO, or I don't grow into Blessing CEO, they will leave me. I am Blessing CEO. Every man will want to marry me because I'm Blessing CEO. If I want to keep more men, or I want to bring more men, I will grow to Blessing CEOs. I will become bigger. So that even if these men leave, another man will come. When I realize this, that it is me that they are coming to love, I fucked every man. And I decided to be myself. Fuck does not mean I went to have sex. Like I left every man and decided to be myself. For 1 year and 6 months, I was alone. I was alone. I didn't want any man. Every man that wanted to date me. And the moment I said I wanted to be alone, men started coming. It was like a temptation. It's like when you say you want to be celibate, you see a lot of men want to come and meet you. Men were coming. I was not asking myself, what were all these men when I was there? Rich men, no, poor men, no, all of them, they were coming. They were thinking I was playing hard to get, no. But I was a damaged woman who was trying to survive. One man told me, Blessing, why are you running from me? I want to love you. I told him I'm damaged. He said, I can help you. I told him, no, you're not a psychiatric home. You can't help me. If you are sick, you go to the hospital. A man cannot heal you. A woman cannot heal you. They will judge you. That is what is happening to Tonto. They will judge you. The moment the damage begins to show, they will judge you. They will tell you how bad you are. They will tell you you cannot stay with a man. They will remind you of your ex. Some will even tell you no wonder your ex could not stay. Can't you see what Tonto Dike's ex is writing? He even had to go and comment on Churchill's photo. That's what they will do to you. They'll make you feel less of yourself. You're not less. All you need is healing. I went back and I healed. I didn't even give a man an opportunity to tell me, no wonder you were not with your ex. I didn't even give them that opportunity. I was on my own. After 1 year and 6 months, I healed. I healed completely. Completely, I healed. I was ready to date. I was ready to marry. I was ready. At that point, I had forgiven my ex. I'd let him go. I had to come to the acceptance that if I did not choose you, you wouldn't have messed me up. I had to come to the acceptance that I was young and I've grown and I want something else. I don't want my ex anymore. Just like Tonto said in one of her posts, if you still want your exes, it's that you've not grown. I said to myself, it's time to outgrow my ex. But guess what? When I healed, I changed my pattern. I used to love slim, dark, tall guys with beards. Fuck boys were my spec. When I see most people talking, my spec na fuck boy. If I see fuck boy like this, I don't wait. I loved fuck boys. I used to love packaged men. Those ones that wear their shirt and rub bleaching cream, fold the hand of their shirt. Those fine boys that had nothing to offer me. I just loved their look. The only thing they were giving me was sex. Packaged men. I used to be #1 fan. Hey, fuck boys. Now Okoro Blessing. Some of you don't know my story. I like fuck boys. I could spend my last card on fuck boys. But when I healed, I started to ask myself, what is a real man? Who is a real man? What does it take to say somebody is a real man? I started doing research. I started reading. I changed my pattern. I started looking deep. The man who is in my life now, I love you, baby, wherever you are. The man who is in my life right now has nothing to do with that thing I used to have. In fact, when some of my friends get to see my man right now, they'll be like, Blessing. It was different. I started understanding that it's not about look, it's about depth. I had to throw away how they look and look at how they treated me. The man in my life right now is not tall, dark. He's cute, but he's not that fuck boy. If you see the man in my life, he's not my spec. He's not my, if you see my exes, all of them are like that. Everybody I have dated, tall, dark, that's what they did. That's my spec. And even till now, when I go out and I go to the club and I see a tall, dark guy, I'll just look and I'll shake my head. I'll say, Kai! I remember when I'll see a tall, dark guy in the club. If I know fuck you, I know the rest. If I know date you, I know the rest. So,